across this journey, we're talking about wealth principle 48, Know Thyself. This is a principle of personality assessments. Hands to the camera if you know you have a personality. Excellent. Hands to the camera if you know you got two of them. Just kidding. So personality is something that we have. It's something that we can leverage too, right? When I was younger, I remember thinking that I was stuck the way I am. I just happen to like green. I happen to not like waking up. I happen to love video games. And that was my personality. Turns out those were just things I liked. They weren't really who I was. They weren't the core of me. It was just some sort of ego piece that had come up over time. It turns out I like all the colors, right? But I do like green because it's money, right? Hands to the camera. If you like more money in your life, you like more cash. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. In fact, that's why we get together, is to earn more. And we also want more purpose in our lives. Hands to the camera if that would be cool too. Feel like motivated to get up, motivated to go and serve more people. Awesome. Excellent. I'm glad you made it, because we're going to go through a little process today. It's going to be a little different from some of our other calls. We're going to be talking about behaviors and personality assessments. So in our community, we talk about disc profiling a lot. Who's already taken a disc profile? Who's done one? Who knows what it is? Excellent. Excellent. So if you can go and grab yours on the computer, or if you printed it out, grab it and we can actually review it together today. If disc is new to you, awesome. No big deal. We're going to talk about it either way. We do disc in the mentorship for a reason. It's so that you can do things that you're good at and delegate things you're not good at. I don't believe in getting good at the things you're not good at. I believe in becoming aware of what you may not be good at, and then doing the things you're really, really, really good at. What I discovered is that I'm a great talker. Who sees that? Who sees I love to communicate? I love to talk. Man, tough to stop me sometimes. But I wasn't always talking in the most efficient manner. So I could improve my speaking. And speaking is one of the highest paying jobs on the planet. And sales is one of the highest paying jobs on the planet. So we add those two together. Can we guess what I speak about? I sell something. And the reason speaking makes so much, who's got to guess why it makes so much? Somebody who's been around long enough who's heard me say it before. Kevin, go ahead. Why is it the most highly paid job on the planet?
Because it's the most feared.
There you go. That's a good reason.
You got to be able to do what everyone else don't want to do, you know?
That's right. Let's give Kevin a round of applause. If nobody else is doing it, you're going to get paid more than everybody else. If it needs to get done, but nobody is doing it, you're going to be paid more. Here's another reason, in addition to the fear behind it, the scarcity of it, is speaking makes other people aware of your intentions. So if your intention is to increase income or to serve more people, when you speak, other people are aware. When you speak in front of more people, they now are aware. In order to get paid more, speak in front of more people. Let them know what you do. Let them know how you serve. Let them know what your skills are. Let them know even more powerfully, and you may want to write this down, let them know what you're looking for in your life. Sometimes you don't have to serve anybody. There are just people out there who want to serve you. There's literally, the world is full of servants and leaders and guides and followers and people who just, when they see an opportunity to serve somebody, they just do it, right? Like Doug was just saying, he just wants to connect people. Let us know what you're looking for. Does that make sense? There are people like me and the coaches, we're just here to serve. Right? We've made our money. Our money makes itself. It's like in our sleep, there's money making in 7 different ways. We got royalties. We got passive income from investments, from dividends, from stocks, from real estate, crypto. I got my royalties. I got interest coming in from interest accounts. There's money coming in from all these different directions. This is something we do to serve. We do this to add value. Who's been asked before, what is the biggest problem in your space right now? What your goals are, what you're looking to create by me? Who's got a text from me? Awesome. Yeah. Because I want to know what the next program I should build is. I'm looking for questions so that I can give answers on scale so I can serve more people. I want to know what the next thing to create is. That is why Names on Deeds is about 2 weeks out. Names on Deeds is just about done. That is why right now I'm working on a webinar called How to Find and Fund Deals. without your own capital. I'm putting a lot of effort into this webinar because I never want to have to do it again. So once it's done, I'm putting ads to it and I'm sending it out there for more people. Is it cool that we ask questions to serve more people? Yes, that's how we get rich. That's how we get richer. I want you to think about, when was the last time you asked somebody what they wanted? When was the last time you asked somebody with money what they wanted, or what they were looking for? I know Corinne's on the call. She asked me, she's like, what do you want? And then she hired a whole bunch of people for us, right, Corinne?
Yes.
Like, Corinne, when we started working with you, did you already have this team, or did you go out and you found a team, right?
I found a team.
Yeah, let's give Corinne a round of applause. She did a great job. Corinne was smart. She reached out to me. She said, hey, I hire virtual assistants. What are you looking for? And I said, well, the only thing I could possibly think of in my company right now that would make sense is not graphic design. It's not cold calling. It's actually messaging people, investors on Facebook, and letting them know about this free training we're doing. And Corinne, what is it your team does?
We are reaching investors in different social media platforms such as Facebook, LinkedIn, Bigger Packet, and Instagram. Of course, we are building relationship first. Then if we already get the trust, we can invite them to attend in this free training.
Who thinks that's amazing, right? Now, let me tell you, she did not know about Bigger Pockets until she had a conversation with us. She learned about it. Every one of my friends on here who are working with us, Mark, Arnie, Ivy, and let's see, where's Orjan? These guys and gals went and learned Bigger Pockets for us. Mylene, right? They learned it so that they could serve us better. Let's give them a round of applause. They're doing an amazing job. Thank you, guys and gals. You're crushing it. So we could serve more people together. This fun so far. We're seeing a little behind the scenes of how some of this works. Awesome. Pull out a pen and paper if you have one near you. We're going to go into disc profiling. Now, as we're doing this, I want you to think about your disc profile because you're very important. And we're going to start with you. The D goes up at the top left. So we're going to draw on a piece of paper a line across and a line down and across. And on the top left, we're going to put a D there. And on the right side of it, we're going to put an I. And then underneath the I, we're going to put an S. And then on the left side of the S, we're going to put a C. At the top of the piece of paper, I want you to write external. They're externally focused, extrovert, whichever one you prefer, extrovert or external. At the bottom, I want you to put introvert or internal. On the left side of the piece of paper, I want you to write task. They're task-oriented things. On the right side of the paper, I want you to write people. People-oriented. So when you start looking at DISC from the sense of DI, these guys, they want to go out and do stuff, right? They're like aggressive. Like, let's go fix the world. Let's go handle something. Let's do something. With people or without, it's just got to get done outside of ourselves. Where the S and the C are thinking more about what's going on in my world, what's going on here. They're family oriented or they're self-oriented. They're very internally focused on improving themselves, not so much improving the world. Hands to the camera if you can recognize some of that in one of you. You feel a little bit of that? You recognize some of it? Okay. Some people are blends. Ron and I are complete opposites. I am a DI. Ron is an SC. And it's a complete opposite situation where I'm driving, I'm on social media. Who's seen one of my posts on social media? Just one? I post every day. There's almost 40 to 50 posts that go out every single day. And even though I have a massive team, I do most of it. I love it. I get excited about it. I think about what somebody else is going to say, what somebody else is going to think. I love like hearing the conversations with one of my students, and then boom, that conversation becomes a blog post or becomes a video I'm going to go do, or it becomes a little quote or something I just share, because I love that. I love having that impact, right? I want people seeing me, knowing what's going on. Ron, on the other hand, no social media. If he posts something once a month, it is impressive. Who saw Ron's post last month? All right, he spent some time in Afghanistan. He shared the beds, and super impactful for everybody who's lucky enough to have Ron Bowling on their Facebook page. Add him now. Go and enjoy yourselves. You get about 12 posts a year, very consistent. He may drop it down to 11 posts or 10 posts if he feels that he's overwhelmed people with his life. And that's okay. That's who he is. He's super detailed, though, when it comes to fixing things, when it comes to knowing what's going on and behind the scenes. He knows all the contracts in my company. He knows where every connection on the website is missing or needs improvement or is working. He's responsible for our whole online university. Alchemist University is because Ron took the time to make sure every button works, to make sure that the videos show up in the right space, to make sure that all the text is succinct. It's not too long. There's not too much going on. In fact, he cleaned up the website the other day. Sometimes I jump into the website and I add links and I put these extra things in there. Ron goes in, he says, this is a redundancy. We've got this in 2 different places. We've got this in 3 different places. Let's trim this thing up. Let's make it simpler for people. Hands to the camera for thankful Ron exists. And he's on the back end of this, cleaning things up for us. Absolutely. Let's give him a round of applause. Without my business partner, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. And it wouldn't be possible for us to be where we're going to be. So there's another kind of way to look at this. Some people are just one of the letters, right? Like Dr. Terry claims that he's just a D, although I've seen his disc profile says DI, but primarily D, focused on results only, external results. He wants to see your life improved, right? And I know Doug McGurk is DI like me. He wants to see your life improved and have fun doing it because he's got that eye. We got to rock. I know that, let me see. Oh, George White. George White is also an SC, very similar to Ron, focused more on the S side. So he serves his family. And when George makes money, it's about family. It's about taking care of his people. It's not about George, right? If it was just about George, he would be fine, right? George, you're good, right? You don't need much. You just get by. But with your family, you do it for them. You want to serve them. You want to make sure they're okay and that they've got what they deserve. And that's what pushes George to work beyond his retirement, into the years where he should be enjoying himself. George is on here with us. He's saying, how do I do more? How do I create more for my family? Let's give George White a round of applause. He's an OG. He's been around with us for a long time.
Thank you.
Love seeing you, brother. And it's not like we're born this way, because this is one of the things that I hear often with DISC. So the Ds, let me go into it. Ds, they dominate the space. They're decisive, quick, short tempers. They know what they want and they get it. Is, they're influencers. These ladies and gentlemen just love to be out, expressing themselves, having fun, adventuring, enjoying life. The Ds are motivated by competition. Man, if somebody says you can't do it, a D is motivated to do it, just to prove that it's possible. With an I, they're motivated by fun, right? Their holiday is literally New Year's Eve. The I's partied. They enjoyed themselves. They were seen, they were out, they were just killing it. Or they had like adventure. You'll see them traveling a lot. You'll see them vacationing a lot. I's like to have fun. S's are stable. Think of people who like a little bit of security in their lives. They're about family. They speak a little slower. They're not in a rush to do things. They'd rather do it right once and never have to do it again, because their goal is to do nothing. And S wants to get to nothing as soon as they possibly can, because if something's going on, something could go wrong. And S's don't like things going wrong. They like things going right. Hands to the camera if you know you need S's in your business. The right things need to be done. You want assets built. They're also amazing customer service because they listen to other people's problems. They're very good at listening. They're very good at serving. They're very good at making sure that things go better next time. They also tend to be pretty organized, not necessarily for the sake of organization, but for the sake of somebody else might have to come back to this file later. Somebody else might have to look for this later. So they make sure that they label things properly. They're very helpful people. All DISC profiles are very helpful people. Let's put that out there. But the S is specialized. They're very talented at listening to what people need. So S's tend to make a lot of money because they're asking people what they need and they're listening. C's, super intelligent. Maybe not always about the right things, but they're super intelligent. They go deep into their world. They're very introverted. All they care about is what they care about, and they're not too worried about what other people think. Anybody know C's? These ladies and gentlemen tend to be perfectionists. Who's ever suffered from a little perfectionism? You want to get it done perfectly? You may have a C moment, right? We're all suspect to it. That perfectionism, that inward, introverted, introspective space is a very powerful tool, but if you're in there too long, it could also be detrimental, just like any one of the disc letters or characteristics. C's tend to be right now some of the richest people on the planet. You look at Elon Musk, he's got a lot of C there, very perfectionist, right? Apple, Bezos, like these guys, they sat behind a computer and they perfected their systems. C's tend to be very system based. These are generally managers. Again, some of the highest paying people on the planet are managers who are out there doing and managing other people. I's, man, they earn so much money because they're out here speaking. They're doing what I'm doing. They're influencing others. We recognize that no matter what disc profile we are, we can make money, right? We're going to make a lot of money no matter what profile we are, no matter where we sit on the profile. How we do it, though, how many people we serve will dictate how much income we have, how many people we're willing to serve. In real estate investing, the disc becomes extremely valuable because you've got to recognize who you're speaking to, who buys property, who wants to buy property, who's aiming to buy a property this year. Hell yeah. Give yourselves a round of applause. Would you like to know who the easiest person to buy property is? Who's interested? Would you like to know who the easiest person to buy property is? What disc profile? Excellent. Your disc profile. Whatever you are, you will build rapport with the easiest. Whatever you naturally are, you will naturally build rapport with that person the easiest because it's already natural to you. If you're an S and you get to the door of an S, you're going to understand everything. You're going to understand their concerns and you're going to address those concerns and they're going to love you for it. And so they're going to work with you. People work with people they know, like, and trust. So first, we were talking with Sandra earlier, they got to know you. So you got to call them. They got to know you got an issue. They got to like you. Right? You get call them, they like you. And then they got to trust you. They got to believe that you can get the job done. That's why people will work with you. Know, like, and trust. The first problem that most people have is they just don't know. They don't even know you exist. They don't even know you're there, right? They got their problem. The sellers in the house, they got the problem of the house. They want to go somewhere else, but they don't even know there's a solution. Hence the care, if you know, that's the biggest problem facing real estate investors right now. Is nobody knows, right? Tree falls in the woods, nobody's there to hear it. So the easiest person to work with is somebody who has the same matching disc profile as you. Typically, that leaves 75% of the planet out of your reach, unless you start learning to adjust your disc profile. Did anybody notice that when I started speaking about S's, I slowed my tone down? I started speaking a little bit slower, talking about family. And when I was talking about the C's, I complimented the fact that they'd go deep detail, right? Get into it. And with the D's, it was more power moves. Anybody recognize that? When I was talking about the I's, I moved around a lot more, made it more exciting. That's practice. Don't let anybody tell you that you fit in a box when it comes to your personality, when it comes to behavior. You just have practice. Who here is right-handed? Anybody right-handed? They use their right dominant hand. Who here is left-handed? Use your left dominant hand. Excellent. Well, for you lefties, they say you guys are smarter than us, which is okay. We don't mind. We need the smart people. If you're right dominant, that's just practice. That's just because you use the right hand all the time. If you're left dominant, it's because you started using your left hand all the time. And over time, you said, well, that seems like an important task. I'm going to put it on my dominant hand. And you started learning more and more tasks on the dominant hand. And if it seemed like an unimportant task, you said, well, I guess I could do that with the other hand. If this had to be done, though, with one hand, I'm putting it on the dominant hand because I trust that hand more than the other. Does that make sense? We're getting this. This is cool stuff. Disc is the same thing. I have seen the D work for me more often than not. I've seen the I get me attention more than not. And over time, as I started building this business, I started noticing that the S got me more results than the D and the I. I had to show up like a D. I had to do the things to get the money, to go and hit that requirement. I had to open the camera and start recording myself like an I to get the attention. But when I showed up, I had to be an S. I had to care. I had to be empathetic. I had to listen. I had to be in the moment caring about that person's results, and concerns. And if that person turned out to be a D, I had to shift back and get into it and solve the problem quickly with them. And if that person turned to be an I had to make the process fun. If they're selling me that house, it better be a fun sale. It better be an enjoyable sale. We better have a beer at the end of it. There better be some sort of goal outside of just selling the house where they're thinking there's going to be a party. I have sold houses, and for people who are looking to buy real estate, again, hands to the camera if you're looking to buy real estate, direct from seller, cutting the agent out, cutting out the wholesalers. All right, okay, don't worry. I like the wholesalers and the agents. I want them making money too. But if you're doing the marketing yourself and you're out there in the house yourself, I want you to be prepared to negotiate. Does that make sense? Makes sense to be prepared. We want to be, able to do these deals. Okay. Eyes will sometimes sell a house to you just because you promise a party at the end. Just because you're like, hey, I'm going to buy a bottle of champagne. We're going to go out to this club, or we're going to go out to this restaurant. We're going to celebrate. We're going to celebrate with everybody who's a part of this deal, our contractors, our plumbers. We're just going to go out and we're going to balls to the wall. It's going to be nuts. They'll close just because of that. Just because they know they're going to have fun. And a C, C's I used to struggle with. Who here is not a C? Not a C. I know, Alicia, you are. I see you. Who is a C? We'll do that. Who is for sure a C? Excellent. So my C's, if I handed you one piece of paper that explained what we did, that would be good. But it'd be better if I handed you an entire book of what was going to happen in the course, right? You'd feel more comfortable knowing there was an entire book of information behind this. Yes. It'd feel more substantial for you. Alchemist University was designed for our C's. Our eyes don't even look at it. They're like, no, I want you to tell me exactly what's going on. I want to be on the camera with you. And the D's they don't even want to get on these Zoom calls. The Z's literally want to text me or call me. And it's like, hey, how do I do this? How does this get done? And the S's are willing to go through all the training because they care about their family, but the C's just want the information. And in fact, the C's are the ones who asked me, could we get an extra document in there? I noticed that there's this thing that wasn't covered. Could we please get an extra 2 or 3 documents? By the way, C's, thank you, right? Tom is an I. Tom is saying no more documentation. But we have to understand this as investors. We go into those listing appointments with a packet of like 28 pages. Not for the I's or the D's or the S's. It's for the C. Just leave the packet. Agents, where are my agents at? Real estate agents. You know how a CMA looks, right? You can pump out those CMAs right online and it's, 20 pages, 25 pages. And you bring those and you think they're so important. Then you find out the person's an I and they just want to have a beer with you. Or you find out the person's a D and they want you out of the house in 5 minutes or less with a price and getting the job done or not, right? Or the S would rather hang out for a little bit and make sure that you understand who their family is and who we're serving here, who their kids are, who their aunt and their uncle or their mom or their dad or their brother or their husband or their wife, who we're looking to solve the problem for. It's not about them, it's about their family. If you go into a house and you don't, but my I's and my D's, this is for you guys and gals. If you don't solve the problem for their family, not for the person, but for their family, you will not get that property. They will not sell to you. And if they're talking about their family and you're ignoring it, they already don't like you. Remember, know, like, and trust. So for the S's, we have to serve where they're coming from. They want to know. That's why they're talking about their family. They want to know that you care about their family as much as they do. If you care about their family, you care about their kids, their grandkids, they're going to work with you. Whether or not you're qualified, if you care, if they know that you care about their family, they're ready to go. This making sense? We're getting this. Cool stuff? Awesome. So this week, I want you to review internally where you're at, who you are, what your disc looks like. And I want you to look at the people in your life, the most important people to you, the people who either pay you or the people who give you love or the people who give you motivation or the people who inspire you or the people who you want to be in a relationship with, because all the money you're looking to have, by the way, hands scan if you want to make more money, just double checking. All right. All the money you're looking for is in the hands of somebody you haven't met yet. All the money you're looking for is in the hands of either somebody you haven't met or somebody you haven't served, or you're not serving to a level. Now you can't, who knows a poor person? Who knows somebody who has no money in their lives? There's knows somebody with no money? Anybody? All right. So a few of us know people with no money. Those people can't give you money. They don't have it to begin with. So serving them anymore will not bring money. That doesn't mean don't serve them. I think you should serve everybody. But if money is the most pressing need, you have to adjust to your serving. Find somebody who has the money to give and serve them if money is your pressing need. If you want more love in your life, go serve somebody who's got a lot of love to give, right? But there are people who don't have a lot of love to give. Who knows? Who's met some of those people? They don't got love in them, right? They're cold people. Nothing wrong with it, but don't go trying to get their love. Who's done that before? Yeah, well, we don't want to admit it, but it's one of those things. We've all done it. Gone after the attention of somebody who's got no attention to give, right? Some people just don't got the attention to give. Doesn't mean that you're any less of a person. Doesn't mean they don't care about you. Just attention, not the thing I got in large supply, right? So seek out people who have what you're looking for in large supply. If it's money, make sure that you're looking for those people. If it's desire, make sure you're looking for those people. Sometimes people that serve us don't have to have money. They have to have drive. They have to have motivation. They have to have desire. They have to want some big things. I'll forego the money for a little while if I know there's something cool we're going to get done together. Or if there's some result that we're going to get out of this, then money is only the secondary. I only take money because I know that I need to use that money to get what I want done. But if I can get what I want done through a relationship, I'll do that faster. I'll do that first, right? I'm looking to serve 100 people who are looking to serve 100 people who are looking to serve 100 people. I'm on a mission to build 100 billionaires who are inspired to build 100 millionaires, who are then inspired to build 100 millionaires. And we're going to keep growing this and expanding this. So last year, we were focused on building and attracting our 100 millionaires. I'm pretty sure we're close or we already hit that goal. And so this year, I'm looking to build those millionaires into people who can serve and build more millionaires. The reason we're doing that is it makes more millionaires, right? It turns our millionaires into multimillionaires. The more people you serve and the more money you help them make, the more money you're going to make. It's math. It's very simple. The more that they have and the more you do what they're looking for, the more you're going to get a piece of what they're earning as well. Just become a part of the system. Real estate agents are a necessity for real estate investors. So we don't mind paying our real estate agents. We don't mind paying our contractors. We don't mind paying our plumbers and our roofers, our marketing teams, our salespeople. This making sense. Go to where there is money, serve the money, and then leverage that money to get more investments. Who buys assets? Who buys things that cash flow, make money? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Buy more of those. Sometimes you can get those for free. Sometimes you can get those just by being a decent human being. Show up at the right place. Have the right conversation. Negotiate the contract. That's what we talk about in Names on Deeds, which I know is coming out 2 weeks. I'll get it done. And in Names on Deeds, I talk a lot about how you can negotiate contracts, how you can get money for doing a deal, how you can walk away from a closing without bringing money, but taking money at the closing, right? How you can close on a deal and get paid at the closing. Who's actually done that? Anybody on the call has done that before, has walked away with money at a closing? Awesome. Excellent. It's possible, right? It's not just me doing it. Anybody can do this. You've just got to ask. You don't know how to say it, know how to structure it, and then just ask, say it. Interested in learning more about how to negotiate these deals so you close without any of your own money, and then you get more money at the closing, and then you get the property too? We're going to talk more about that in the mentorship. We do this every single week. We ask questions. We find out what you're looking for. We serve. I noticed that Mike Shine is not on the call right now. So, Ron, let's do the book of the week. Oh, you've never read this one. Okay. Doug McGurk, I'll let you do the book of the week. It is Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins. If anybody was going to do this one.
Good choice.
Since Doug spent 3 years traveling with Tony Robbins, on tour with him all across the country, serving people as a coach, as a guide, helping build and inspire people to get to their next level. Let's give Doug McGurk a round of applause. Doug, book of the week.
Well, if there was ever a book that encapsulated the work of Tony in one place up to a certain point, he's written a few books since. That is the book, and essentially the title "Awaken the Giant Within" is essentially what Tony teaches, what he shares. His event "Unleash the Power Within" is all about a similar mindset. And how many of y'all would agree that everyone here on this call, literally everyone, has more potential to tap into? That there's always a next level. There's always this new opportunity to add value and receive value. The thing that's stopping us is all up here. Tony has become the icon of personal development because he went out and modeled and learned from the most successful people. And he would do things, and this is where I got it from, like hanging out with people who are doing amazing things and then simply asking them, how did they do that? And how can I help you? And just by that proxy would then get involved in whatever situations that were available. I will say this, speaking of books, Tony shared this. He was hanging out with a millionaire, I guess maybe a billionaire at the time, and did that question like, hey, so, what advice do you give to me? What do I need to do in order to be as successful as you? And the guy says to him, well, have you read Think and Grow Rich? And Tony said, well, yeah. And then the guy replied, how many times? So the message there is, even though if you've, in the book of the week, even when these come up and you go, oh, I've read that, if you haven't applied it 100% or able to teach it, you haven't read it enough. And we're all guilty of that. Awaken the Giant Within is a dense book. We'll tell you that. It is very big, very full, and definitely worth the read. So if you're interested in Tony or familiar with Tony and have not yet read Awaken the Giant Within, highly recommended because it is extraordinarily comprehensive for a one place to get all the information that Tony shared up until that time the book was written.
Let's give Doug McGurk a round of applause. The book of the week is something we do every single week. There are 52 books and there are 52 weeks. And so we read one book a week in this community. If you're saying that's impossible, that's difficult to do, no, it's not. We already built the list and we just give you a book and then we go read the book together. Like Doug said, read the book multiple times. I was asked this week, why do I write in multiple colors? Why do I notes always be in green, red, blue, purple, black? Why do I do it in different colors? Because I'm having different thoughts. I'll be listening to something, I'll be reviewing something, and each one of those colors represents a different thought on the same concept. In a book, you'll be receiving 4 or 5 concepts, 4 or 5 different ways of looking at something on every page. And so if you go through the book and then you read the book again, and then you read the book again, you're still missing things from within the book. Who's read a book twice and got something out of it again the next time? Yes. There are books that I've read hundreds of times. The Science of Getting Rich, I have literally read every single weekend for the last, I'll say 3 or 4 years. Every single weekend. That has put that book, and there were some weeks I read it every single day. I would start the day and I just read the book, just listen to it, because I wanted to get the mindset of somebody of success. I wanted to install it into my brain, burn it into my brain, so I had no other choice to think anything else. Who's heard me just throw out quotes from that book? Who knows? It literally just comes off because that's what it is, right? There is a thinking stuff. It's part of this process is changing the way we think, changing the framework. And these books are a tool to do that. They allow us a new way of thinking, a new adjustment. So reading them over and over is, man, it's a hack, right? It's a hack that you can put into your life right now. In audio, you can do it at night. Who goes to sleep every day? Spends 8 hours in bed, 6 to 8 hours in bed. Yes. I know the mothers are like, well, no, if I'm lucky to get 5, right? But if you're sleeping at night, you could also be listening to something. That's cheating. And it's okay. I listen to something every single night when Doreena's away. When she's here, I have to respect the fact she doesn't like to listen to stuff at night. But when I was single and when she's away, I'm playing something at night and I'm getting an unfair advantage. My mind's at work. My mind's learning something. I'm growing. Sometimes I'll sleep in a different room to do that.
Pro tip.
Go ahead, Doug.
So I have a, it's like you can get it on Amazon or eBay, and it's just, it's like a blindfold, mask that has built in like little headphones, and Heidi doesn't hear a thing.
Doug, link accepted. If you could drop that link in the chat or text me that link later on, I'm with it. Doug, Mike Shine has gotten those same exact things or something similar to that, and he also does it at night. And I'm gonna have to make the investment. I kept pushing it off until I started dating Dorina, and in the back of my head, it's always been there. I've been like, you know what? Maybe that's not such a crazy idea to have these headphones that I can sleep with, little Bluetooth things. Yes. Anybody else think that that's a valuable tool? Awesome. Like, just because we want to get to the next level, we feel a desire to read a certain book doesn't mean our spouse needs to have to listen to it too. Just so you know. Go ahead, Alicia.
So what is it? Are you just listening to books or what is it that you're listening to specifically?
Depends on how I feel. It'll never be a podcast. I'll tell you that. It'll never be something that hasn't been proven by my conscious mind. So it will always be either a hypnosis I've listened to before. It will be affirmations I recorded for myself, or hypnosis I recorded for myself, or it'll be a book that I've approved, that I've listened to before, that I felt the wording was right. Because you got to be very careful when you're sleeping. That's opening the subconscious mind, direct download. So make sure that you've reviewed it before.
Who's who does the hypnosis that you listen to? Because I've looked at some online, but like you said, you're opening yourself up and you don't want subliminal messages or anything like that coming through. So I'm careful about who I listen to. Who do you follow?
So you're actually in the mentorship, Alicia. So if you go into Alchemist University and you go scroll to the left, go down to the bottom where it says Mentorship Pro, go and look for Doug's track. Doug has a track for our community. It's about 27 minutes long, and it's a powerful hypnosis. A lot of the affirmations for the Alchemist were actually all the Alchemist affirmations at the summit. Who saw those? Who's already seen those? Yes. Those are written by Doug.
Thanks,
he
Doug.
took the time to work on himself so he can create those things very easily. And he's also got another set of assets. Doug, you want to share a little bit about the hypnosis that you have out there? It just came up. So
yeah. So if you go to mindsetmaximizer.com, there's another free that's more about for anxiety and relaxation. But all of the hypnosis, the guided meditations that I create are designed to be ecological, to be sure that whatever is being put in there is going to be of value and not confusing and kind of distorting some of your already distorted beliefs and other than conscious experiences, so to get you focused. And in my package that I've got, there's everything from like muscle relaxation and sleep to confidence, creativity, essentially just finding ways to chip away at, like to Terry's book, taking our own bad advice, right? To open ourselves up to start bringing in other stuff, and that idea of creativity or releasing anxiety. Because anxiety is what's going to prevent us. That's the little voice in our head that starts going, "Oh, I don't know," and then that's your own bad advice, your anxious voice. So, what I provide for that is just an opportunity for our other than conscious to let go and relax the binds that we have on what we thought was the best way to go, because wherever we are right now is based on all the decisions and processes that we've been doing in the past. So if we want to, you can't change, you can't open a new door with the old key. So we've got to be willing and open to try on new opportunities, and our other than conscious is really the one that gets in the way.
You know what? Since we're speaking about it, hands to the camera if you'd like to see the back end of Alchemist University and a little bit of the stuff that comes with the mentorship when you get involved with us. Awesome. Excellent. So this is just the online portal. You get here, it says Alchemist University. You can actually get here just by going to my main site. Go to waltermerlo.com right at the top here. Once you create a free account, well, you got to click it. But once you get a free account, you end up with access to some of our free trainings, but the mentorship students get access to all the stuff. Well, for some reason, it's not going back. Ron, can you pull it up on your side? Alchemist University? Oh, there it goes. All right, my computer's just going slow. There it is. So these are all free trainings. You can learn how to analyze deals, run a property cash flow, talk about size, 3 secrets to millionaire mindset, 3 keys to quit your job through real estate investing, how to improve your credit score, how to get a home seller who wants to top of the market to drop their price, and then just webinar links, which is to this event. Doug's stuff is below names on deeds, which is coming. We've only got half of the course out there. The other half's coming out, but it's coming along nice. Doug's stuff is right in here, an Alchemist Mentorship Program. Come down to Doug McGurk's Guided Meditation, and you hit the link right here. And we've also got something coming up. It's next week, right, Doug? You have your training?
The 10th.
Might as well tell us about it. Who's interested in learning more about influence, how to influence self, how to influence others. And one more thing, Doug, hypnosis, you were able to eliminate procrastination as well, right? Through the subconscious mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a program in my in the package there that's about eliminating procrastination and taking more action.
Has anybody ever procrastinated in their lives? Yes. Has anybody missed out on a deal because they procrastinated? Okay. So is it possible that procrastination is the most expensive bad habit that you have in your life? Most expensive. Priceless to eliminate it? Not even a question, right? Awesome. Doug, tell us about this event coming up.
So on the 10th, we have the Secrets of NLP and Influence, where we're going to do a high-level look at what NLP is, neuro-linguistic programming, the power of it, how it works, why it works, and how we can use it or consciously use it, because the truth is, and we'll get into it in the training, is that NLP is just language for what we're already doing. It's just a way to discuss and unpack what's already happening. So NLP is basically about modeling, finding out what is working for someone, and then how to apply it in our own lives so that we could get the same results. It's a way to speed up all transformation because it's just getting to the core of it. If you're familiar with Bruce Lee, who all knows who Bruce Lee is? So Bruce Lee is arguably one of the most prolific and successful martial artists, and is, kind of world famous for it. And he immersed himself in the arts, in all of the arts that he could really get his hands on. And then at the end of his career, he designed his own style called Jeet Kune Do, which is basically a distillation of all the best of martial arts. Well, NLP is essentially the Jeet Kune Do of psychology and influence. What they did was the founders just went into therapists, different therapists at the time, hypnotherapists, Milton Erickson, and family dynamics, Regina Satir, and Gestalt, and all these things, and said, why is this working? How come Milton Erickson gets such great results? How does Regina Satir get such amazing results? Why does Gestalt work? Why do all of these things work? And then went and unpacked successful business people like Walt Disney and other people, and then said, okay, here's what they are doing consistently. If we look at everybody, here's some of the patterns. And that's why programming is kind of where the language came from. So if you're interested in learning how our brain works, the structure of thought, the structure of learning, and the human experience, join us on the 10th, and we will start unpacking a bit of that, because it is thanks, Terry. It was Fritz Perls who did Gestalt therapy. Another one is Rogerian Carl Rogers, that was another one. Backtracking came from that. But I digress. If you're interested in how our brain works, the structure of thought, and beyond, join us on the 10th. And let me throw the link in for our non-Alchemist members here, so we can, because there is a small fee for non-mastery.
Is everybody okay that Doug charges for this information? Does it make sense that you would? If you could help somebody make, an extra $10,000 a month, it would be worth something, right? If you're willing to take your time and do that. Yeah, I agree. That's, man, who paid for college? Who knows somebody who paid for college? Who's paid for their education at some point? Yeah, like I only went for like a year. I didn't finish college. So good for you guys. You did awesome. But if you've paid for education at some point, you understand I've paid over $130,000 for education outside of college, right? Outside. That doesn't even include like the airplanes and the hotels that I was staying at. That's literally just the courses I paid for. So I believe in education. And when Doug gives this away, it's just amazing. There's one thing that Warren Buffett says, if you had to learn something, it would be communication. If there was one thing to learn, one skill to give somebody, it would be communication. Because if you can communicate, you can go get more money. If you can communicate, if you're not good at sales, you're sleeping alone, right? If you're not good at sales, you're not sleeping with the person you want to be sleeping with. That's for sure. If you're not good at sales, you don't have the money you're looking for. Does that make sense? You got to learn the power of influence, not just influencing others, but influencing yourself to go do the things that you want to get done. And then influence others to work with you, or let you know who you could find to work with you. This week, has it been valuable? Has this lesson helped, motivated you, inspired you, given you some tips, some things you could practically use this week going ahead? This is the first week of the year, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to go kick some ass. You're about to take what you want out of the universe and install it into your life. You're about to download some skills, some resources. But before we do, I want to open it up to the coaches. Dr. Terry Wager, give us some pro tips on what we just talked about.
Are we stopping and starting the recording, or?